Hello, everybody, and welcome to Book It Vince, the wrestling dream match podcast on the internet. And I'm one of your hosts, Martin Bennett, and with me, as always, is the apex predator himself, Anthony Hall.
Viper time. I'm smacking the
this
table.
Move? Is this move that he does?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm also showing off this shirt that I forgot that I had.
Oh, I just noticed.
It is of a team that has been broken up by the WWE, the New Day.
You're gonna want to watch the video version, folks, for that awesome rendition. Alrighty, yep. Well, today we got a good one. I got a good one for you, Anthony. It's gonna be interesting, okay. Because it's something I think people have been wanting to see for a while, and could actually happen in the next year. We don't know.
Okay.
But before we get into that, please make sure to like or subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast from, on whatever platform you listen on, because we're definitely on there and you should listen to us. Please leave a review for the podcast, because that helps us. Give us those stars, give us those likes, help get the podcast seen by other people, but also at the same time, come over to YouTube, watch the podcast because of the fun visuals and interesting editing that we do on some of our special episodes. I put a lot of work into them, so please come watch them.
Please.
But also, at the end of the episode, we do our viewer questions. We're running low on some viewer questions, so please, this is a call for just submit any wrestling question to us, either on our website, www.UnknownErrorFilms.com/bookitvince, or on social media. Submit fun, weird, interesting questions, and we'll read them out and answer them on the show. And then also we do our match recommendation of the week for a match we think you should go watch. But to cut to the chase of what today's episode is about, I'm challenging Anthony to book a very special match. Are you ready?
Yeah. Hit me.
Okay.
Hit me.
So this is gonna be a biggie. It's not Big E. It's just it's
Big E.
No, it's a biggie.
A biggie.
So okay. Your dream match this week is the Four Horsewomen of the WWE.
God. Stop.
Comprising of Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, and Bayley, versus the Four Horsewomen of MMA, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Maria Shafir, and Jessamine Duke. And so here is your caveats. It is not what could have been, it's what's going to be. And I want it to end in a War Games match. So
in a War Games, okay.
And the mini caveat is that we talk a lot about, like, here's the match, here's like the interesting build up and all that stuff. I want to start getting deep into like the drama, because we kind of base off of like people's past actions, but like there's always the interesting new turns that some characters take of like say when like Samoa Joe was going against AJ Styles and Samoa Joe was like attacking his family.
Right.
Like those weird, interesting, dramatic sort of takes. So I'm hoping that we can start getting into more of that stuff in future episodes. But yeah. The Four Horsewomen of WWE versus the Four Horsewomen of UFC, MMA. Because it's rumored that Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey are going to be returning next year, because they want to finally get their 1v1 match at WrestleMania 37.
Right.
But what if Charlotte returns? What if You know, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of possibilities.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's see. If we are going off of like immediate events, let's see what has to happen. I think, okay. Well, obviously the Charlotte or the Sasha and Bailey feud has to wrap up some way somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Wow, this one is such a doozy.
Let me throw one out to you.
Yeah.
Say at Hell in a Cell, there's no winner. What if? What if? This would be very WWE.
It's so WWE.
What if they're in the middle? They're beating the tar out of each other. They're just going to town on each other. This is the culmination. This is the finale that we wanted to see from this year-long, basically, what feels like forever feud. And then when we think it's about to finish, Jessamine Duke and Maria Shafir come out and attack both of them.
Oh, no.
And just brutalize them. The turn that we wanted to see from these two forever, instead of just being some lackeys or whatever, just they come out and they destroy these two.
That is very interesting. Very,
throw them
very
through tables.
Yeah.
Just put them into some submission holds that look like they're like choking them out.
Yeah.
Until they pass out. And then
my goodness.
You just have Michael Cole just flabbergasted.
What would he be yelling?
Oh
my God! It's Jessamine Duke.
He'd probably be shouting.
Marina Shafir.
No, he'd be probably shouting out, "What's going on here?"
Oh yeah, what's going on?
I don't know what just happened.
What year is it? Is this now? Okay. Okay. That is interesting to me, but I wonder if maybe this would be an opportunity for Charlotte to return instead of Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke coming in and ruining Hell in a Cell's. I don't even know where it would be on the card. Main event, Sasha and Bailey.
I'm pretty sure Charlotte though is drafted to Raw.
Oh yeah, like those rules matter.
I mean,
the cage is red, therefore it's Raw.
You think they're gonna swap the color of the cage per? No.
Oh my God! Like as if probably, but
no.
Like,
anyways, all right.
Okay.
So, what do you think?
So what if this happens? Like, so are the tag team belts up for is somebody challenging for the tag team belts at Hell in a Cell?
No.
Really?
Right now, no, they're not.
Oh, God damn it!
Because I think I don't know if. Oh no, they're. I'm just trying to think back to that women's number one contender match.
Okay,
and
doesn't matter because
all of them were in there, so no, it's not.
Doesn't matter because in the world of Book of Vince, they are.
Okay, and who's challenging?
So here's what I think could happen. So let's say like the Sasha Bailey match is a little bit earlier in the card. It's not like near the end, so that we can have maybe Charlotte return and force some sort of non-finish in the match between Bailey and Sasha. It probably is just like she comes in and wrecks everybody and leaves, a la Roman Reigns. But I don't know. I'd like to see something that maybe, I don't know if they would ever repackage Charlotte or give her like slightly different character, because like it would be cool to like see her come in and be more of like a brawler and just like lay everybody out, but still have like some of her moves.
Yeah.
So in my mind, yeah, it's like she's got like big John Moxley energy, like coming in and like she absolutely like wrecks Bailey and Sasha, and then it's a non-finish, but she like, has the belt, holds it up. Everyone's like,
Oh.
oh my God.
I got a great way to get Shafir and Jessamine Duke into everything.
Okay.
And
okay,
have
okay.
it be an interesting so it's the tag team belts. Mystery opponents. Right?
Oh.
They don't know who. They don't know who they're facing. Okay.
So Shayna and Nia don't know who they're facing at this point.
So then they go out, and then it's going to reveal who they're facing, and then that's when Duke and Shafir come out, and it's a kind of this like, but they're great. They're best friends with Shayna Baszler. What's happening here? And then it's shades a la of when Cody turned on Hardcore Holly and then formed Legacy.
Yeah.
Where like that's starting to have a normal match, but then basically like Shayna turns on Nia, and that way then the three of them have the belts. Like that sort of a thing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's kind of what I was thinking too. It's like so Shayna and Nia are up against Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir, and you're like, you'd think that just based on the current portrayals of those characters, that Shayna and Nia would be like probably dominating. Like Nia would probably hit like a Samoan drop on Jessamine Duke, and be like going for the pin, and it's like, oh, that's 3, and then Shayna would just like fly in and just like elbow Nia in the face, and then they would just like and then I think like she would like back up and then let Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke like do whatever their like tag team finisher would be to Nia, and then pin her, and that would be really interesting. And then they like hold up the belts.
Yeah, and Shayna like grabs their hands and holds them up, and it's like, exactly. What is this? What does this mean for the women's tag team division, or what does this mean for the women's division?
Yeah. So then, as they're like holding up
introducing the belts, those two in a big way up onto the main roster,
and then obviously they would play like Shayna's music instead of like Jessamine and Marina Shafir's music, and she would do the spades thing with her hand. I don't know. But then, be like, and then they walk out and it's like, whoa, damn. Okay. So maybe that actually, so that could come before the Bayley Sasha match, because it's like, okay, great. Like that's a pretty big moment. And then, in the Sasha Bayley match, I think like Charlotte just runs in and wrecks it all. So then the following week, I think we have to just start building up the stable that is now Duke, Shafir, Baszler. Wow, what a name.
I think the easiest way of having them is you start having them. Maybe then it goes into a Nia versus Baszler one-on-one match. Maybe then for heel purposes, it then turns into like a handicap match where it's the three of them versus Nia. Sadly, this starts putting Nia over as a face, but I think it's just to help make them look devastating and destroying someone.
I think it's like Nia's like, I want to face you, Shayna. For you betrayed me,
backstabber kind of thing.
Yeah, you backstabber. But then Shayna's like, I'm not gonna face you. You're gonna face Marina and Jessamine together. So then that's like a match where like I think it probably ends in a DQ, because like it's classic WWE booking, and like you don't want to make Duke and Shafir look weak, but you also you want like Nia to get like some development and not just get like absolutely squashed.
Yeah.
So in that match,
and within the commentating, like and backstage interviews and whatnot, it kind of keeps getting dropped of this thing like, these three, like we've seen these three before. They were in NXT together, but then also at the same time, if you look back a couple of years, like this is where Ronda Rousey was starting to get introduced. And they kind of like keep hinting at that. It's the kind of, Michael Cole or who else is it? Who else is what's it? Tom Phillips would be like, we've seen them before. Best friends with Ronda Rousey, trained with her, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they would be like, yeah, best friends with Ronda Rousey. They would say like mixed martial arts specialist. They would like say that over and over again, like mixed martial arts specialist, former cage fighters. Yeah, and it's like, oh, okay, we get it. Like,
yeah, and then to be
in the UFC. Okay,
if I could have anything, I would want like a sweet like promo package of those two, where it's actually showing like them when they were MMA fighters and like destroying people.
Yeah, and then
just to show how badass they really are. And so then basically what we're having one story over here and then one story over here of like the MMA, the horsewomen of the MMA and then horsewomen of WWE having their own internal troubles.
Yeah, but I think the story with like the WWE horsewomen is like how they come together, and the story of like the MMA horsewomen is how they build up and dominate, because the culmination of this feud is like everybody coming back and then they face each other, right? But this is like a force that's been like building, and this is like a force that had to be reassembled.
Yeah.
And
by the way, I have a great dramatic reason for Becky and Ronda to come back and what makes them feud. I have a great dramatic thing, but I don't want to reveal it just yet.
Okay, not yet. Okay, so here we go. So we've just we're doing the build of the MMA horsewomen side right now with like, yeah, so Nia and Jessamine and Marina are in this match. It's a non-finish because probably Shayna comes in at the end and just like does her like sleeper onto Nia. Yeah, and just like passes her out. The Kirifuda clutch, is that her? That's her finisher, right? The Kirifuda clutch.
Yes.
Yeah.
It could easily then just devolve into them just trying to basically incapacitate her and put her out, and then maybe someone comes down and saves her, just doing the good face thing of like, all right, you guys need to stop, get out of here. And it could be the Riot.
It would be the Riot Squad. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like,
I was even going to say Mandy and because they're a team now, Mandy and Dana.
Sexy Muscle Friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so Sexy Muscle Friends comes in to save Nia from this horrible beatdown that she's receiving via the
we basically have the horsewomen of MMA on Raw and then the horsewomen of WWE on SmackDown, and that's kind of where it's building, seems like it.
Okay.
And I think this would be the perfect transition for Shayna to get into a feud with Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I think, because I like that. So that kind of sets up like maybe the next week's Raw matchup where it's like, Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir are gonna put the titles on the line against the Sexy Muscle Friends, and then I guess they have to just like absolutely wreck them and do another beatdown, and then Asuka, because she likes the Sexy Muscle Friends so much, would like come in and try to save them, and then that's when Shayna and Asuka would get into some guapow,
and then with traditional WWE booking, it would then be a 6-person tag.
Yes.
And then Shayna would pin Asuka after some tricky shit. Yeah, and then it'd be like, Shayna's pinned the women's champion. And so that means they get a title match for some reason.
Exactly. So then, the next pay-per-view would probably be, Shayna versus Asuka. But now we have to think about, what the hell is happening at SmackDown? The A show. the Fox's finest wrestling show. Okay, so let's say Charlotte came back, and Sasha and Bayley are still at odds with each other. So maybe they build towards a triple threat at whatever the next pay-per-view is after
TLC.
Hell in a Cell.
Well, technically the next pay-per-view is Survivor Series. But I don't even want to get into that. I don't really even want to get into that garbage because it's I love Survivor Series, but it always ruins storylines.
Yeah. And it would definitely make ours a little bit weird if we were like, okay, Team Raw is like a bunch of random people. It's like it'd be like Asuka, Baszler, and then I guess like Jessamine and Marina, and then SmackDown would be like Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley.
Well, I mean, you have the champions going against each other, and like at that point, so Bayley would still be champion going against Asuka, maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but like we've seen that one already a bunch.
Yeah. Let's just pretend that Survivor Series doesn't exist for now.
Yeah.
Because that it really just ruins the momentum of what we have building. So the next pay-per-view, let's say, so Survivor Series is omitted, so it's TLC, right? Is what you said. So TLC would be the perfect place for Asuka versus Shayna. It would also be the perfect place for a triple threat for the SmackDown women's title. It's a TLC match between Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley. Probably would be a banger. And then the tag titles can be put up against like somebody random just to make sure that like Jessamine and Marina come out strong out of the pay-per-view. So what happened? Like, when does Becky or Ronda return? Because do we just
Royal Rumble?
So how far is that from now?
That Royal Rumble happens at the end of January.
So
and TLC, Hell in a Cell is October. Survivor Series is November. TLC is December. So
that's the next pay-per-view.
Yeah,
they come back.
Well, so what if we swap Survivor Series and TLC? So then at Survivor Series, let's say Shayna wins, beats Asuka. Shayna's now Raw Women's Champion. And then at Survivor Series, you have Shayna versus who? Who becomes SmackDown Women's Champion? Does Sasha finally?
Yeah, overcome? Why not? It seems like it's building towards that, does it not? That she's gonna win at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Even though they haven't, even though this whole storyline side tangent, as always on Book of Vince, to talk about real actual wrestling storylines, they're not. I commented about this a while ago on Twitter. I don't, as much as like I'm excited to see what the end is for this feud. I'm not super interested in it because they don't make they don't. Are they both heels?
No, I think Sasha is the face.
They're not making her a very relatable face, because when she came out after being attacked, she basically did the heel thing of you're nothing without me. It's like, no, it just doesn't, she hasn't been sympathetic is my only problem.
Yeah.
So it's like, right. Are they? And like, I think that's where in our Book of Vince universe, where then Charlotte coming in could be the face instead of the heel, and is kind of just like, you two have been a disgrace to the women's division and like hoarding everything to yourself and not giving opportunities to anyone else. Like, that would be really interesting. Charlotte,
as if Charlotte would have that.
I know. But I mean, it could be a thing of where she was away for a long time and realized, like, I was
in her time away, she she has come to her senses about all of the privileges that she has been afforded, being the daughter of Ric Flair,
and got immediately inserted into a women's title match.
Yeah.
Upon
returning from her vacation, she just is immediately
or it
inserted.
could be, or she could be super heel and be like, do the Roman Reigns thing of neither of you are worthy for this championship.
I think that's more on brand for the Charlotte character.
Oh, it definitely is.
That she comes in and just like destroys them.
I think then if Sasha is going to be the one to do it, I think she needs to make a very babyface turn of like, I've overcome things. I've like that. A face needs to be sympathetic. They really need to be sympathetic, and you need to understand their struggle, and you need to understand what they've gone through. So I think that's where that really has to come out. And then maybe that's where then say she wins at TLC.
Yeah.
And then this sets up a feud between her and Charlotte where it's like, so you think you deserve to be champion. You like, yeah, you won, but are you ready to hold what that belt like really means and represent and prove yourself to be the top woman, to be the top, to be the man. And
I don't know if they would go this meta into the story, but like Sasha could be saying like, every single one of my title reigns has meant something to me. It's been a mark of achievement in my career, a milestone, but all of your title reigns, they're just empty and they seem like they're just a number so that you can catch up to your dad. And it's like, oh.
And then that's where the backlash to that could be, yes, but at least I've defended a number of at least I've defended more than one of my championships successfully.
Exactly.
A true champion can retain their championship. You just got lucky.
Exactly. So then it's like, so then that's a very heel thing to say from Charlotte. So that kind of makes Sasha a little bit more of a baby face. Yeah. Even though like saying the thing about like trying to catch up to your dad is like a pretty sassy.
Well, no, you can still be sassy and be a face.
It's true.
You can still, it can be in jest. Like it can be meant to get a reaction of like, "Ooh, damn, girl!" Like it could be that girl. Reaction.
Oh my god. Okay, so "Ooh, damn, girl," we are at Survivor Series.
Yeah, we're switching the pay-per-view so that then we can have Sasha Banks versus Shayna Baszler.
Yeah, that would be a great match. I think like that. I mean, for a show like Survivor Series where it like doesn't really mean anything, I think they can like put on a really fun match. And then I guess the like SmackDown Women versus Raw Women match would have to be populated by like,
you know what would be interesting? I mean, it would make a lot of sense is then Duke and Shafir come out during that match. Yeah. And like try to, be interference and try to help Shayna. And then it's like, okay, well, who comes out? Does anyone come out for Sasha?
For Sasha. Yeah.
And does this start the, does Charlotte and does Bayley come out? And because it's like, well, no, it is a brand versus brand thing, but at the same time, couldn't it also be this thing of like, you don't deserve to, like, you shouldn't be out here, like, get to the back. This is between the two of them. Like, and so then that's just planting the seeds of.
Yeah. So.
or it could be in the battle, or it could be in the Survivor Series match too.
Yeah.
I just think it would be a very heel thing of those two trying to help Shayna like they used to.
Yeah, I like that they come out and you think it's going to be shenanigans, but then Bayley comes out and also Charlotte to just like even it out. And like I think it would be really funny, and like a little bit random if like the captains of the Raw team were Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
And then you have all these other people who don't agree at all with
Yeah. They're like,
decisions.
why? Like, yeah, they're like, why do we get to like? Why do they get to be captains? Like, like who are they even? And it's and they're like, I don't know. The thing with like the Raw roster as it is, like the women, it's like it's pretty thin. So like the team like would not be as good as SmackDown at all.
I mean, now it's well, I mean, let's see.
Yeah, like you're like, oh well, who's on
Well,
Raw?
no,
Like
it would be
Naomi.
I mean, that would be a great one.
Yeah, so Naomi is obviously drafted to the team, and she just does not agree with Marina and Jasmine at all. But
Yeah.
she has to be a team player.
And then, I mean, I would probably that like usually the Survivor Series teams are always people who don't really get along, which always bugs me because it's like you guys were fighting literally a week ago, but now that Survivor Series are all working together. It's like, no, stop it.
Yeah,
You guys are feuding with each other. Stop.
but I mean, I guess that would work if we're playing with the idea that like nobody wants Marina and Jasmine to be the captains of the Raw team.
It'd be funny
So then
then
it ends-
No, yeah, finish.
So then it ends up being like a one person from a bunch of these teams that they're feuding with, and like Naomi. So it'd be like Naomi, Ruby Riott, Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
And they'd be like,
It'd be funny then on the SmackDown side if it was then Bailey and Charlotte trying to decide who of them is actually
the captain. Yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like, no, I'm captain. No, I'm captain. No, I'm captain.
Who goes on the SmackDown team? Like who's even on SmackDown? Bianca Belair, I guess.
Yeah, Bianca Belair for sure. Zelina Vega could. That'd be interesting. She's on
Is she on
Smack. Yeah,
She is?
she's on SmackDown now. That was like a WWE.com
Oh,
sort of
talking smack Raw talk pick.
Yeah, it was like after the attack from the Fiend and Alexa Bliss, Zelina Vega is finally left Raw and is going to SmackDown.
Oh,
Where's
right.
Andrade going
Alexa
though?
Bliss.
Where's Andrade going though? We don't know.
NXT baby.
Yeah, exactly. But let's see. So those two. One more. Who is on?
Pull it up.
Who is on SmackDown? I don't know. I'm sure there's. I mean, there's Nikki Cross.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I guess Nikki Cross will be on the team.
Now I'm just trying to figure it out.
Because like Alexa Bliss is on Raw, because the Fiend is on Raw.
Yeah. Who got
Lacey
moved over?
Evans. Lacey Evans.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. The draft just happened when we were recording this, so
Okay. So let's say that.
it's a little all over the place.
Okay, let's say that wait, how many people are on each team again? Is it 5?
5, yeah, it's always 5.
Okay. So then the SmackDown team would be Bailey, Charlotte, Bianca,
Selena
probably
and Nikki Cross. Let's just say that.
Okay. Zelina, Nikki Cross. So then
Because then you got the history between Bianca Belair and Zelina Vega. And you got that
yeah, that's kind of
history.
funny. Okay, so then the other team, the Raw team is Marina, Jessamine. Oh my God, just the quality of this team just drops immediately. Where it's like,
not bad.
it's,
None of these women are
no.
that bad.
No. Naomi is great. So then it would be like Naomi, probably like Ruby and
Mandy.
Which is funny because now it's like, what's Alexa Bliss doing? I guess she's probably just embroiled in whatever feud.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be this whole this whole Twisted Little Sister thing, which I'm loving.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is kind of cool. Okay, great. So that's the Survivor Series women's match.
yeah, I think SmackDown definitely has to go over, and I think it does have to. I genuinely do think in order for a good future storytelling, it does have to come down to Charlotte or Bayley, probably Charlotte, and at odds with Duke and Shafir.
Yeah. So it's like Charlotte's the sole survivor of SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then then she's up against Shafir and Duke, and of course, because she is the queen, she kills them. Yeah. She like hits a natural selection.
It's all about planting seeds, people. It's all about planting seeds. It's all about just little moments of like, ooh, this is what we wanted to see.
Yeah. So then, okay, let's say that like,
but who goes over?
The way this happens, I think, is this. It's like, Charlotte has been incapacitated. She's like outside of the ring, and Bayley is in the ring with Marina and Jessamine, and they gang up on her, do their tag team finisher, whatever it is. I actually don't know what it is.
I don't think they have one.
And they eliminate her, and then Charlotte comes back in, and I'd say like probably comes in flies in with like a big boot of some sort. And is like doing the woo chops, woo chop somebody into
back
the corner,
and forth between the two of them.
Yeah, woo chopping the both of them. Woo. And I think she like hits a natural selection on Marina, and then Jessamine is on the ground, and she like gets her into a figure four and submits one of those, or Jessamine, and then she gets on the turnbuckle and moonsaults onto Marina, and then pins her for 1, 2, 3, and that's like, this is pure sheer dominance by Charlotte. So,
but then who comes out over Shayna and Sasha?
Well, then I think Shayna has to win.
I think so. And because, I think it's just got to be like a brutal, like just have Shayna show her true just dominance of destruction. Honestly,
it would be sick if like Sasha Banks went into that, like she kind of goes into that backstabber to set up the bank statement, but she does the backstabber, but then Shayna rolls over and gets her into the Kirifuda clutch instead. And it's just like, and makes her
pass out, so she never actually tapped.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's
so always interesting.
Like,
I always love those finishes because it's good storytelling to then move forward. Of like, I never gave up, but it's like, but I made you pass out. Like I made you.
I dominated you. You know, like I wrecked you. Okay, so then so Shayna goes over, and now we have to build towards the Royal Rumble, I think.
So right? this is then, how do we have Ronda Rousey and Becky come back? So, I think this is where you could have an incredible moment of either Ronda wins the Rumble as a surprise entrant. And then I think, just because I respect the fact that even though there are rumors of that Becky Lynch is going to be coming back next year, you know, you got to give her a little bit of time. She just had a kid.
Right. She hasn't had the baby yet, right? It's no,
she's due in December.
Okay.
So that's why they're like, next year she'll be coming back, because they'll probably like, give her a month or two.
Okay, so Ronda comes back at the Rumble, but not Becky.
I think Becky makes an appearance.
Like on the commentary desk or something? Or what are you thinking?
Either Ronda wins and gets her moment, and then Becky comes out and gives this, and either like steps out onto the ramp and they just kind of stare each other down, and that closes out the show. Because it's a thing of, I mean, at the same time, you don't want to ruin someone's Royal Rumble moment, but just to then show that, to be like, they are finally going to, It's basically telling the crowd, this will be your like WrestleMania match. Like this will be your WrestleMania match. You know, even though it's like, well, right now you have Shayna, one of Ronda's friends, and Sasha Banks as the champions, and Ronda wins. Who's she gonna challenge?
I think it would be a fun fake out for Shayna's music to hit and Marina and Jessamine and Shayna all come out, and it's like, oh, like, is this like a who is the leader moment where it's like, oh, is it Shayna because she's been around and she's won and she's defended, or is it like Ronda, who is this like superstar, this big name, and I think they come together and then they just celebrate.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's I think at the Rumble you have that moment of Becky comes back, and it's you know, the Rumble is you want to give the audience everything. Like honestly, it's that time of year where it's like surprise entrance, big moments. We're on the road to WrestleMania. Just like give them as much as you can, and that's why, you know, this past year it was friggin' having Edge come back, having Drew win, like all that stuff. But in this, it's like, Ronda's surprise entrant. Everybody loses their mind. She wins. And then Becky steps out, and that closes out the show.
Okay.
And it's just like, Becky Lynch is back, and Ronda Rousey won they're both back, and Ronda won the Royal Rumble. Who's she going to challenge? And then that's where it can build to like, who is Ronda going to challenge? And that's where it can be this face-to-face of her and Shayna. And then maybe, you know, Sasha comes out and is like, maybe at the Royal Rumble, Sasha can beat Charlotte. Yeah. And then it can be this like face-to-face sort of thing where it's like, who are you going to pick, Ronda? And that's where we think Ronda is going to maybe choose Shayna, but then it's like a complete fake out and takes out Sasha. And it's and then you see this moment of like the four of them together, and they all do the four.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, it's finally together. They are finally together. And you have the four horsewomen of the WWE all like separated.
Yeah. They're kind of like just laid out and like lost.
And this is what I mentioned a little while ago of what I think the drama between Ronda and Becky could be. Motherhood.
Oh.
Why did Ronda leave? Sure, she got injured at WrestleMania, and so she was away, but then she didn't return because she wanted to try to become a mom.
Yeah, and start
Becky left, became a mom. Ronda didn't.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a crazy story of like Ronda being jealous that Becky is a mom and she is not?
Right. Yeah.
And basically being like, you're a mother, go home. You don't belong here. The only true warriors belong here right now to wrestle, and you're not fit. I wasn't able to become a mom, so what am I doing now? I'm here. I'm going to dominate. I'm going to rule this division. I'm going to be the lead of this company. You shouldn't be back. Go home with your kid.
Well, I think like, I think that's the entry point into the feud, and I think it's like, they probably don't dwell on the motherhood thing like so much, but I think it's like it's a great entry point, because I think people would like see the feud and be like, oh, this seems a little bit sexist, and they're just talking about being mothers.
Well, no, I think you can do it in a very empowering way. I think you can do it in a way where then Becky comes back and basically says like, I'm here for my family. Like I'm here because it's what I'm good at, it's what I need to do, and it's what I have to do to show my, let's say she has, you know, it doesn't matter.
A daughter or
daughter
a
would be really
something.
cliche, but even if it's a son, it's like to show my kid what a powerful woman their mom is.
And right. And I think, and then Ronda.
You can do it in not in a kind of like, this seems a little, it's like, no, you can do it in a very empowering way. Cause I mean, they've done it with dudes.
That's true. That's true.
You could do it with women. No one's no one who has become a mom in WWE has ever come back except for Maurice. And I guess technically Maria, but not really. Maurice was like, I'm a freaking mom, dude, and I'm a wrestler.
Yeah.
I've had 2 kids and I can still wrestle. And kind of the Bellas, but like I think Becky coming back and being like, I am the man and I'm the mom. So don't fuck with me.
I am. Yeah. There's a bunch of shirts that say the mom.
Oh yeah.
The mom. Okay. So then if Becky's like, I'm here for my family to show what like a powerful mom, a powerful woman can be, then I think Rousey counters that and says like, I'm here because my family is here and this is my family, because it's Shayna and Jessamine and Marina. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm fighting because my family needs me at this moment in time, and we have to prove to everybody that like we are the best.
Yeah. And so I think that then can easily turn into the 4 of them ganging up on Becky.
Yeah.
And then it's like you're starting to try to build this trust back between the WWE horsewomen.
So who comes out to initially like help out Becky? Do you think it's Charlotte? Because they're the closest out of like Becky and the other horsewomen. You think like you think Charlotte would come in and try to help, or do you think that they just let her get absolutely laid out?
Well, Bayley's been absent since TLC.
True. So then Bayley could come. Maybe Bayley and Charlotte both show up, and Sasha's kind of the outlier.
Well, Sasha's the face, right? Technically right now, Sasha's the face. I think this is a good moment for Bayley to come out, and it's this reluctant, like, where maybe, after TLC, she's gone. And then she makes her return later after the Rumble. Mm-hmm. And that's where it's like, I know it was bad. I know I was selfish. I know I was, I know I turned on Sasha. I know I went my own way, but after Sasha beat me and Charlotte, and I just took some time, I came back and I'm ready to, this is our house. This is our division, and they can't come and take control. So I'm here with you, Becky. And it's like this. Yeah. Because those two never really had a feud. Really.
Becky and Bayley?
Yeah. Not totally.
Not that I can remember, at least.
Because they were on separate brands.
Right.
And when they were on the same brand, Bayley was the hugger. Mm-hmm. And Becky never had a heel turn, so they didn't really face each other. If anything, they probably teamed together more than not, but
Okay. So then
there's no real bad blood between the two of them.
Yeah. So if Ronda and the crew are laying out Becky and Bayley makes her return to try to help her out, and they have a nice moment together, Bayley and Becky, then where does this go now?
I think then it leads to Ronda challenging Sasha for the women's title at WrestleMania.
Yeah. And so they can have all the gold.
And I think Becky against Shayna for that, to also then tie in the feud that they used to have.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way. And then maybe Bayley and Charlotte for the tag team titles. But before then, it could be there we go. It could be the caveat that in order for the 4 of you to face the 4 of us at WrestleMania for our title, for the titles, or that's right, like Ronda automatically gets her shot, but for the other women, in order to get their shots, this is where that can be the heel thing of like, well, at Fastlane, this would make Fastlane so much cooler
Yeah.
Or it could be elimination. It could be elimination chamber, but it's like, it's a different chamber this year or whatever. I don't know. Put it in one of those pay-per-views. It's a War Games match. 4v4.
Let's go Fastlane. Let's do it.
4v4. If you beat us, you get your shots at WrestleMania. If you don't, then you don't get to be on WrestleMania or some crazy thing like that.
Yeah. Okay, well then that's the War Games match then. That kind of like is.
And I think what then picks it up to get them all involved again is like, yeah, you have Becky and Bayley. Okay. And Sasha's in there too, but Sasha's reluctant to join with Bayley because of their past.
Yeah.
You used me then. Are you just using Becky now? And it's this kind of thing of like these four friends going around with each other to be like, can we truly trust each other? And like Charlotte's kind of the outlier of like, I don't trust any of you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. And it finally gets to this point of like, no, we are the Four Horsewomen of WWE. We were the friends back then holding up, when was it when Sasha won the NXT Women's title, or when was it Bayley? I think it was when Sasha won it, right? Where it's the four of them. No, it might have been Bayley. When they're all holding up hands with each other, the four of them.
Yeah, I think it was after that like Iron Man match.
Yeah.
Iron Woman match. At TakeOver. Yeah. TakeOver Brooklyn 2? Maybe. Yeah. Okay, so now this War Games match happens at Fastlane in order for them to get their shots at WrestleMania.
Yeah. If Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, and Sasha win, then Bayley gets her shot at Shayna's title, and Charlotte and Bayley get their shot at the tag titles.
Yeah. Okay.
And if they lose, they don't get to be on WrestleMania.
Right. So
which would be the
big,
which I think could be like a really interesting take on it. It's this thing of like, you don't get to even be on the show, and which is a big power play of like, we're the UFC fighters who have come and taken over WWE. And you were born and bred in this system, and we're making it so you can't even be on the show. Yeah,
it's like you started the women's revolution, but we're starting the women's evolution. And it's like, well, and they're the next chapter is like the Four Horsewomen of the MMA is like, if you want to survive, you have to become the predator or the big fish or something like that. So the War Games match is would be crazy.
There's so much that would happen in that match that it's hard to even explain. Like, I think even just before that, you get into this thing of like, I mean, it's really like the easiest thing to always say is like, oh, it's a backstage brawl and it leads to this and blah blah. But like, those women have always been so good at those moments where it feels visceral and real. Like the whole backstage like police brawl with Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte.
Oh, like the kicking,
they got arrested and kicking. Like that was so good. And so it's you could have that where you have things like a 8-person tag match that just dissolves into absolute brutality between the 8 of them fighting each other, and these moments of picking apart each other's careers. And it could even be the thing of like, maybe someone like Charlotte and maybe someone like Sasha think they're, like, what have you two done, Duke and Shafir? Like, people don't even know who you are. And it's like,
we don't even know your tag team finisher.
It's like, oh, really? And then they even have a match, and Shafir, like, they show how dominant they truly are. And sure, maybe they win in a heelish way or whatever, but it just to really prove, or maybe even it's like, okay, you don't want to take us seriously, backstage attack. Maybe one of them can't compete in the War Games match. Maybe it looks really bleak. Maybe they attacked Charlotte from behind backstage and injured her knee, and is she even going to be able to compete? Is it going to be a 4-on-3 match? Like, having those moments to just make the four of them seem like this is a mountain to overcome.
I think a really awesome moment on like a SmackDown or Raw would be like Charlotte is like going to, try to convince Sasha or whatever to join the team for War Games, or to like reassure them, or to like just talk to Sasha because Sasha's the face and whatnot. But then when she like gets to the change room or whatever, she's just ambushed immediately by Marina Shafir, Jessamine Duke, and Shayna. And it ends with like Charlotte gets beat up, and then just like Shayna just chokes her out. And I think Sasha is like, well, I thought I was supposed to meet Charlotte. Like, where is she? And she opens the door, and then Charlotte is just like in a pile of like rubble, like, ugh.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Like, what happened? And that kind of adds some fuel to the fire. And when we get to the War Games match, it's just,
I mean, it even can come to the point where it's like, it's interesting because those four women aren't the greatest talkers. Like you look at Rousey, you look at Baszler, and like they're not the greatest talkers. So it's not like they could cut like a fire promo, but it's more about just their actions. While then, if you remember, when Daniel Bryan came back, and it was going to be his whole feud with The Miz, and how for weeks and weeks and weeks they played those friggin' videos that made you so hyped to finally see this match. It's like you could play those for the WWE Horsewomen, where it's like, remember why you love these four women, like all the crazy moments that they had, like them coming up, them dominating, them, you have the takeovers, you have the main eventing, you have all this crazy stuff. And it's just like, yes, this is why I love these four, and they need to take on these four because they need to finally prove themselves to be the better. And also it's like to kind of like defend their legacy and their achievements that they've had so far, because the MMA horsewomen are coming to erase all of that and to start like a new era of women's wrestling within the WWE, like a hard-hitting, like intimidating, like real sports,
rough, real sport. Yeah, exactly. A more intense. We
don't care what anyone else thinks. We don't care what the fans think. We just want to come in here and win. Yeah,
exactly. And damn. So I guess that culminates at War Games, and I'd say like the WWE Horsemen obviously have to go over because we have to set up WrestleMania, and I
think it and that match specifically could, so you have four people in each cage. It starts out with one each. I think it would be crazy to have it just start out immediately with like Shayna versus Becky.
Yeah.
And like have them really like them going at it. Weapons start getting introduced. They're it gets close to thinking who will tap out. Just real carnage of using the cage to their advantage. And then I think then to help with the baby face, it's definitely got to be the next person is like Duke or Shafir. Yeah. I think Ronda comes in last.
I think so
on
too.
That team.
She's the draw of the match, right? So it's like you have to bring her in at last.
I think it's got to be Shayna and Becky.
Yeah.
And then Shafir.
Yeah.
Then Charlotte.
Yeah. then Duke,
then Duke, then Bailey,
yeah,
then Ronda, then Sasha.
yeah.
And then it just turns into absolute mayhem of just like,
Yeah.
What are people doing? Charlotte's got a moonsault off the top of the cage onto the whole group of them. It's got to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Becky, like, Beck sploders, like, Shafir into the corner through a table.
Bailey to belly suplex off the top rope through a table.
Yeah. And then
Ronda's got to put like two of them into an arm bar at once while like the others are like holding their legs, like arcing them. So it just looks like she's like ripping their arms off. You definitely got to have just this like maybe a moment of like a super power bomb of like the whole team of the MMA horsewomen like putting Charlotte through two tables stacked on each other. Just make it like exploding. Like it takes the four of them. Like, it takes the four of them to like slam her through.
Yeah. Nice. That's awesome.
Introduce kendo sticks, some chairs.
Yeah. I think
it would be a real like asshole move of like doing like a concerto to like Charlotte's knee or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because she's already like messed up from the backstage attack. Yeah. Oh, that'd be crazy. I guess the final spot would have to be like who's the biggest face on the WWE Horsewomen team? Probably Becky, right? So Becky would have to do probably like the disarmer to like Shayna or something to end the match.
Yeah. It's actually kind of tricky because you think about it, and more than half of like six of them's finishers are submissions.
Yeah.
Like Charlotte's is a submission, Sasha's is a submission, Becky's is a submission, Ronda, Shayna, like they all do submission finishes.
Yeah.
It's definitely got to be something crazy where it's like Becky puts Shayna's arm like in a chair and is pulling the chair back or something crazy like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it could be that all four of them put all four of them in submission moves at the finish. And it's just who's going to tap.
Let's do that.
It's going to be who out of the four of them is going to tap. And they're all just wrenching.
Yeah.
And they just can't do it. They're grabbing the ropes, but no, they're all holding it in. It's like, who's finally going to tap?
Yeah.
And then
it would have to probably be,
You'd think it'd be Duke.
It'd have to be probably one of the.
You think so, but I think it would be Shayna because then you can. Because then you can start to have a rift in the Four Horsewomen of like Ronda's pissed, like you tapped, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, you tapped.
Like Duke didn't even tap. You tapped.
No,
shows you're weak.
We love her. We love.
It shows that you're weak, Shayna.
Oh yeah.
It's like you didn't do any better, great. Ronda, and that's just kind of infighting or whatever.
Yeah, so that sets up the breakup of the MMA horsewomen pretty much.
Yeah, well, I think you could easily lead it all the way to WrestleMania from that point. So.
Yeah, and then WrestleMania, all of the big matches happen,
and then you have the Four Horsewomen of WWE closing WrestleMania, all holding gold.
Oh.
And then the world explodes in happiness, and COVID's cured.
and it's just like the final shot of WrestleMania is them all holding the belts, and then it smash cuts to that meme of Vince going like, oh, and falling over the chair. Oh,
perfect.
Yeah,
I love it. Can we please? Can we please get this?
I hope so. It's possible still. Until somebody gets released. Well, I hope they don't. Or when Ronda's contract is up in 6 months or whatever.
Well, so yeah, that's the thing. Is the rumor is that they're going to bring them back next year, and the rumor is that in the dirt sheets is that they're going to headline WrestleMania 37.
Which Hollywood.
that would be cool. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing is there was always these rumors about will it be the battle of the horsewomen?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, but if it happens this way, that'd be dope.
All we gotta say is book it, Vince.
Book it, Vince. Book it. All right. Well, let us know in the comments or online how you would want to book the Four Horsewomen of WWE versus the Four Horsewomen of the UFC. Please let us know online in the comments or on social media and all that good stuff. Let us know how you would have done it differently. How do you think Ronda and Becky are going to make their return? Because it's fun to imagine these things.
Yes.
So, like we said at the very beginning of the episode, we're running out of questions. So please submit your questions either to our website, UnknownErrorFilms.com/bookitvince, or on social media. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram at UE_films. Because, we definitely want some questions. I guess this could definitely be a question. So on social media, I asked, send us questions. We have a few from our Discord, and we have one on Instagram, which will be interesting. So this one's from Instagram, user Corey Birch.
Oh, Corey Birch
asks, who was the best boogeyman?
The one and only boogeyman, of course.
Was there more than one boogeyman? Because when I saw this, I went, interesting. Was there more than one boogeyman?
Only one that I can remember. The clock-breaking, earthworm-eating, mole-eating boogeyman. I'm
going to look up boogeyman wrestler and see what pops up. I mean, what did you think of the boogeyman when he was introduced?
At that time, I think I was like that was like when I was starting to like not watch wrestling as much, but then I was like, oh, okay, this is very interesting. I thought it was pretty hilarious. He was like booked pretty strong for a while too.
Yeah. He was always put into like, it was interesting because he wasn't really ever a heel. When you look back, He wasn't a heel. He was against heels. He was to freak them out. Like he had his feud with JBL. He had his feud with I always remember him going up against King Booker. Remember when Booker King won King of the Ring, and then he also won the World Heavyweight title, and he was King Booker.
Yeah, man, of course. Yeah, the boogeyman was pretty crazy. What was his finisher again? I remember it being something like pretty cool, and I was like, oh.
We kind of talked about this. Oh, that's so interesting. I never knew that.
That he was on Tough Enough?
No, so I looked up the Boogeyman Wikipedia just to see if it was multiple wrestlers. The guy who played him, his name is Martin Wright.
Yeah.
He was trained by Stevie Ray and Booker T.
Oh.
Which makes sense. So... yeah.
Am I wrong? Was he not on Tough Enough?
Maybe.
Yes, he was like older. Yeah, he was an older guy on Tough Enough, and people were like, "Oh, what the heck? Like, what's going on here?" But then they brought him back, and he was the boogeyman.
I am currently on finishing moves. The Boogie Slam.
Oh, right.
Or the supernatural driver, which is an inverted falling power slam. He also did the fall forward choke bomb, which I do remember that one, where he would like pick them up and then he'd slam them and sit down at the same time.
Yeah,
he'd do like a sit down power bomb, but there's like a sit down power bomb choke slam.
Right, that's what I'm thinking of. It looked pretty awesome because like he had, on top of like the makeup and stuff being like pretty like intense, like he also had like a pretty good look. Like he was like a pretty jacked dude.
Yeah, he was.
And like he was very entertaining.
For
so
sure.
Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Corey, for that question. I'm sure you're going to try to make us book a Boogeyman feud when we have you on this podcast, inevitably.
So then our next question, I'll pick from our Discord, our community Discord, and it's a question from, let's go with the question from Unseptium.
Yeah.
Which is, who tries the most but always seems to fail? I mean, it kind of comes down to like who. I mean, in storyline, I would say probably Shorty G.
Yeah. Oh God.
He tries the most, but then he always gets squashed. Or But I guess in wrestling, I mean, person that I guess gets booked and then always seems to kind of fizzle out. That was Bray Wyatt for a while.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Where it's like build up, big moment. You know?
Yeah.
It's like he's in a main event title match at WrestleMania. It's big main event title match at here.
Yeah. House of Horrors match. Look at these earthworms getting projected onto the ring. Yeah. Somebody who is booked like that too is like they're given lots of opportunities, but they have never won. Is like Jungle Boy in AEW. The Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, gets a lot of matches that are like pretty important. I think he's challenged for the TNT title before as well.
Yeah, he did that. He's at the time of recording, he's going to be in the tournament for the
number one contender.
Yeah.
He's
going against. Let's see. It's the first.
Is he against Hangman?
Yes. No. He's against Wardlow. He's against Wardlow.
Oh.
Yeah. Well. I mean, in my opinion, this is how I think the tournament's gonna go. Penta versus Rey Fenix. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Sorry guys, it doesn't really matter which one of you faces Kenny Omega, because Kenny Omega is going to destroy Joey Janela.
Yeah. He's
going to then beat them. It's going to be a brutal match. This is where you're going to be like, is Kenny a face or a heel? I don't know. On the other side, I don't know who Hangman's going against, but he's going to beat them.
I'm pulling up the bracket, Mario. I'm doing it. Hold on.
He's going to beat them. Wardlow, it's going to be a really good match, but I think Wardlow's going to win because you got to have Hangman beat a mega heel.
Yeah.
So I think that it's going to be, I think Hangman is going to beat Wardlow. So then in the finals, it's going to be Kenny versus Hangman. And this is where we finally see the cleaner come back. We finally see Kenny be a piece of shit. And then he goes on to beat Moxley.
Oh,
I forget who Hangman's facing.
Okay. It is Penta versus Rey Fenix, Kenny versus Joey Janela. Oh, Colt Cabana versus Hangman.
Oh yeah, it is Colt Cabana. I think it's going to be a good match, but I think Hangman's going to win. So
boom, Colt Cabana, boom.
But no, going back to the topic at hand, I do agree that I think Jurassic Express just totally is one where they get so many opportunities to get so many matches, but then they don't ever really kind of win. I think it's just because it's the whole thing of like paying your dues. They're very new. They're going to have a career for a long time. Like, let them just get their grounding in. And this way, then it's not like pushing these new kids to the moon. It's just let them get in there. So then, you know that they've had good matches. But they haven't won too many times. So that then when finally they get their years in, they can then just start getting really pushed. And you're like, yes, finally, I'm getting to see them get what they deserve,
Yeah, and the pop when like Jungle Boy wins a big title is going to be huge. Like hopefully we get audiences back in full force in the next couple of years, and Jungle Boy like wins the TNT championship or they win the tag titles. There'd be a huge pop if Jurassic Express win the tag titles.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a good one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be so great. I love Luchasaurus.
Oh yeah. Well, he's one of the greatest characters ever. He's so ridiculous. All right. Well,
are we at
thank you.
Match recommendation time?
Yes, we are. Thank you so much for your questions this week, people. Again, please submit questions. We need them. They're fun for us to answer, and they're fun because if I don't know what I'm trying to say here. No, what I'm trying to say here, what I'm trying to say here is, what do you think, in regards to those questions? Give us your answers to, who do you think, always tries so hard and seems to fail? Or also, what do you think of the Boogeyman? Did you like him as a character? Did you hate him as a character? Let us know. So
we love the Boogeyman.
Now we're at, match recommendation of the week. So Anthony, what is your recommendation for people to go and watch this week?
Okay, I was reminded by this through social media, but I would love to recommend the 2 out of 3 falls match from NXT Toronto, DIY versus the Revival. I saw that live. It was amazing. It was so great. And watching it back on broadcast with like the commentary and stuff, like, it just really reminded me how awesome that match was.
That was where then Tommaso turned on. Was that when he turned on him, or was that later?
No, it was after. That was Chicago, okay. I think, when right. Tommaso turned. But that match was so great. DIY was such an awesome team. And the Revival in WWE were fun too. But now as FTR, they're even more exciting. Yeah,
that was around the time when I was like starting to try to get back into wrestling, and I missed the whole like weird golden era of NXT. Like I missed that whole thing of like of Finn and Nakamura and Samoa Joe. And I missed all of that. And then and then it wasn't until after I was like, wait, all these people who are on the main roster used to be on this brand and like had all these classic matches. So
it was pretty insane. Yeah, I think the main event of TakeOver Toronto that year was Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke, and it was pretty awesome as well. But I mean, the match of the night definitely was DIY versus the Revival. So check that out, because the Revival, aka FTR, now in AEW, they're doing big things, and I think the next tag team classic they're going to put on is going to be at Revolution or Full Gear.
Yeah,
sorry.
Perfect. So please go watch that match and recommend your matches to us online. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed this one. Again, please let us know how you would have booked or how you would book the Horsewomen of WWE versus the Horsewomen of the MMA, UFC. Of course, you can catch all the other things that we do here at UnknownError Films by looking us up online or just following us on social media at UE_films. You can follow myself online at Barton_Minute, and you can follow Mr. Anthony Hall
at Hall and Jokes on Instagram and Twitter.
But thank you so much for listening and watching this episode of Book It Vince. See you next time. Go watch some wrestling and be safe out there. Yeah,